Welcome to Coffee and Conversations for Men, a podcast where two men, Jay Guy,
Brian Jones,
sit down to share their stories of struggles, successes, and everything in between as they navigate the ups and downs of life.
Each episode will dive into topics men are curious about as it relates to their fitness, nutrition, relationships, mental health, and lifelong learning. If you're looking for real talk, honest discussions, and practical advice, you're in the right place.
So grab your coffee, sit back, and join us for some candid conversations that will inspire, motivate, and remind you that you are not alone on this journey. So let's get started.
Before we dive in, we just want to make something clear.
We are not psychotherapists, social workers, or licensed counselors. We are simply two lifelong friends, Jay and Brian, who are here to share our personal stories and the lessons that we've learned along the way.
While we offer advice based on our experiences, it's important to remember that we are not professionals in those fields. If you're dealing with specific health, mental health, or relationship issues, we always recommend reaching out to a qualified professional who can guide you in the right direction.
With that said, we hope our conversations help spark some positive changes, inspire reflection, and encourage you on your journey.
Okay, Jay, before we get talking about insecurities, what's in your cup today?
Today's different for me. I have a different brand this time, and I have a brand called Kicking Horse Coffee. And the brand, or the flavor actually, is called Three Sisters. It's a medium blend, although it does have a kick to it. So I might be a little talkative today. How about you? What's in your coffee?
More talkative?
Surprisingly. How about you?
In my cup, actually, it's roasted locally.
Uh-huh.
The company is Jacked Up Coffee, roasting company.
Yeah.
The beans are from El Salvador, and it's great. I'm so glad. And I went in and I asked, I said, so what's really popular? And they said, oh, this one right here. And it was called Last Christmas.
Oh,
I know.
Last Christmas.
I know, that's what it's called.
Oh, man. Well, I'm going to have to get that recipe for you and try them out.
All right.
All right. Cheers, my friend. Let's get into it.
Okay, Jay, let's get started. We've labeled this episode Behind the Mask.
Right.
Tackling insecurities in fitness, relationships, and beyond. So let's start with fitness. Where are your insecurities? Where were you hiding behind the mask?
So my insecurities arose from the lack of being able to get to the gym. So my story starts like this. A little while back, I had a heart health scare, and I wasn't allowed to get into the gym.
Ooh.
Yes. So, and that really bothered me a lot.
I imagine it would.
So while the doctors were trying to figure out what the problem was, I was instructed to have zero, and I mean zero time in the gym. And I mostly followed that.
Mostly?
Yeah, mostly. We both know what I'm like with rules.
Yes, I do.
So, sadly. So I was instructed zero time in the gym. And like I said, I mostly followed that. So if this story sounds vain, it's because it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
How so?
So because I wasn't allowed to get in the gym for months, I started getting a little soft around the midsection.
Oh, you'd hate that.
A little soft around the tummy. So it really bothered me a lot. And so I'm a hard gainer, and it takes a lot of work for me to add a pound, gain a pound, add a pound of muscle, that kind of stuff. So I'm a hard gainer. So to start losing muscle mass it took a long time to put on.
Right.
To start losing my abs, that took a long time to show up. It was almost like if I lost my abs, I lost my identity. Well, there goes Jim J, you know?
Oh, God.
So the insecurities doubled down because I was losing some of the stuff I worked really hard to get. You know, you hustle along really hard and you're happy with your physique. And so I was losing a lot of stuff that I worked really hard to get. So that's where I say this is a vain story.
Okay.
In every sense of the word. So while I would, be focused on the losing of all of the muscle mass and all that kind of stuff, I was losing sight of the bigger picture, which was the heart health issue.
Right.
And so when I would get into my own head and start with my quote unquote nonsense, my wife would remind me, Jay, you're going to look amazing in a coffin.
Ooh.
And she knew exactly how to shut it down. Like, God love that woman. She knew exactly how to shut it down. She knew exactly what would trigger me to be like, whoop, all right, a little bit of nonsense going on here. She sees it, she feels it, she knows it, and boom, she knows. That woman knows how to stop me in my tracks. So she would say, Jay, you look amazing in your coffin. And immediately my stomach would sink and I'm like, oh my God. But to me, it wasn't nonsense. At that time, I was in my most negative headspace, my most insecure headspace. And I was using the gym to hide behind all of those insecurities that I hadn't put in check. So I felt like I needed the gym. And when I couldn't get in there, it really, really, really bothered me. And it really played a number in my head. So I was allowed to do like low impact movements, like, stretching and yoga and all of those things that take focus and take concentration.
Yeah. And relax the mind.
Yeah. And I hate.
Yeah.
So all of those things I could do, but absolutely no strength resistance training, no strength training, no high intensity stuff like I love to do.
Right.
So, I got a little depressed. I got a little insecure, and all of that stuff kind of creeps in. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's where my story comes from, is the lack of the gym and being able to get in there. So, like I've mentioned in the previous episodes, that I would use the gym in an unhealthy way, and I was. And when my wife would see that creeping in, she would call it out instantly.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah,
good for her.
She just knows. She's very in tune with Jay,
with what you need.
Yeah, she really is. She knows me better than anybody on this planet. Yeah. How about your story?
You know what? It's a little bit different, but a little bit the same. My insecurity was going to the gym. Now, after I had that health scare, and I talked about that in a previous episode, I knew I needed to work on fitness. And so I thought, well, I'll go to the gym. I can't go to the gym. I can. No, I can't. Yes, I can. No, I can't. And I thought, well, okay, just do it, Brian. Just do it. But I thought gyms were for beast mode guys or underwear models. And I was neither. So I drove to the gym. I thought, I can do this. I won't get a membership. I'll just get a day pass. I'll check this out. Because I was scared to death.
Okay, yeah.
I was hiding behind this mask. I don't know what to do in a gym.
Yeah.
So I sat in the parking lot and I watched, beast mode guys walk in and underwear models walk in. I thought, you know what? I'm not going. I'm going home. So, no, I got this far. I can do it. So I go into the gym. I fill out the paperwork, the disclaimers, the waivers, whatever you have to fill out.
Yeah.
And all these machines, I haven't got a friggin' clue what to do on these machines.
Oh my God.
So you know what? I'll just do copycat behavior. That's what I'll do.
Great place to start.
I'll just kind of sit in the bench, tie up my shoe 100 times, and I will watch to see what they do in the gym. So I was watching this machine, and sure enough, I watched what this guy was doing. So I thought, oh, I can do that. So he left after he cleaned it down, and then I went over and I sat on. I couldn't even move this thing. And then I realized you have to adjust the weights. Way too heavy.
Oh, God.
So I lowered the the thingamabob that's connected to the doohickey with the whatchamacallit thing. The pin. Okay. And I released it and I put it up a little bit lighter. And I still couldn't do it. So I put a little bit lighter, still couldn't do it. So that's why I whipped it out, put it right at the easiest spot, and the machine almost fell apart just because it was way too easy. So I had to find an adjustment. Then I realized there are these little pictures on the side of the machine that tell you what to do.
Absolutely, there is.
Great.
Yep.
So I go to this other machine, and I sit on it, and I just casually look at the picture, and it's okay, put arms up. And then I'd go to the next picture, and I realize I am sitting on the friggin' machine backwards.
Oh my God. Are you talking about the pec?
Yeah. I had never seen one of those before. So I casually get off, I turn around, and then I spot this security camera on this bank of machines. I thought, oh my God, there are people in the back room likely howling at me, watching this novice guy not have a freaking clue what to do on this machine. Did you pack up and run? I should have. So this trainer or some employee walks over and says, can I help you, sir?
So I'm thinking, oh, you've watched me in the back room. You know I don't have a clue what to do on this. So I thought, I can't lie.
Yeah.
And so I said, you know what? I've never seen this machine before, and I'm not sure what to do. He said, well, let me show you. I'll help you. And great help. But oh my gosh, insecure, hiding behind the mask, 100%. And the same thing happened with swimming. I did not take swimming lessons until I was 50 years old.
Oh.
Scared to death of water.
No
growing
kidding.
up.
Really?
Growing up. I mean, I would fake it. I'd be in a pool, stay in the shallow end. Go to the beach, make sure I didn't go below, above my knees.
Yeah.
On a boat, wear the life jackets.
Oh,
I faked it, hid behind the mask of my insecurity of, in a previous life, I must have died drowning or something.
Oh,
so maybe I saw Jaws when I was younger or something, or Titanic.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm not going to do this. So I thought, okay, enough's enough. I'm over 50. We made sure our daughters could learn to swim. We put them in swimming lessons so they could save me if I got into difficulty.
Oh, God.
So I this friend who was an instructor, I said, you know what, would you teach private adult swimming lessons? And she said, sure. So do you want to go through the levels? And I said, no, I just want to do the front crawl, the freestyle, and tread water more than 5 minutes. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that. So I took swimming lessons. Oh my gosh, loved it. Now I can't get enough of it.
Really?
I swim 2 or 3 times a week at a local pool. And going tomorrow morning, actually, at 6 o'clock, it opens up, and I'll be there to do my kilometer and a half. And I cannot believe I wasted 50 plus years
of being scared of the water,
scared to death of water, hiding behind this mask, being this imposter of pretending I knew what I was doing.
And letting the insecurity get the better.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
The only person you should try to be better than is the person you were yesterday.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Because it emphasizes growth over comparison and just addressing the insecurities about fitness.
Yeah. I wonder how many guys are like yourself that are just scared to actually start, that are scared to get into the gym. I wonder how many guys like yourself.
There's a lot, I'm sure.
Sadly.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely. And just that comparison is the thief of joy. And that quote just really speaks to insecurities that arise in comparing fitness levels to others. And I was comparing my swimming lessons or my swimming levels to others, my gym experience with others, and it was nowhere near. I'm not even in your arena when it comes to the whole fitness part of it. And again, comparison is a thief. A thief.
Oof. Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
My quote that I brought to the table today is, while you're doubting yourself, others are terrified of your potential. I'll read that again. Yeah. While you're doubting yourself, others are terrified of your potential.
Oh, bingo.
Yeah. So while you're sitting in your own headspace, telling yourself you can't do this, others are sitting on the sideline watching you, terrified of what your next move is going to be. Yeah.
And there's this gym anxiety. Many individuals experience anxiety about working out in public spaces. And there's just that fear of being judged, comparing their level with other people's level. And that fear of not performing well in a fitness class or in a group activity can really deter people from participating.
Yeah.
And it just increases their insecurities.
I can see how. Yeah.
So what are some good advice, next steps for our listeners who have an insecure feeling about fitness?
Well, speaking from personal experiences, I had to put my ego aside. That's really what I needed to do for me. Put my ego aside so I could get past my insecurities and see that bigger picture for me. So put your ego aside and just go on in. Just go on into the gym and take that first step. The people in there are there to help you. Everybody was once a beginner, everybody. I don't care how good you are. Michael Jordan was once a beginner. He had to take the basketball in his hand for the very first time before he ever won a ring, before he ever was called the GOAT. Everybody is a beginner. So just put your ego aside and go on in. I also have this really powerful quote called HOPE. The acronym is HOPE.
Okay. Tell me.
H is for have faith in yourself. O is for opt for growth over giving up. P is pursue your dreams despite your doubts. And E is for expect great things to come.
Wow.
And I would like to change that last one to fit myself, which is expect great things from yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think if we focus on growth, because insecurities often arise when we feel stagnant or stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So if we take small steps, manageable steps towards improvement, and just knowing that growth does not happen overnight. And that
very true.
And that's tough.
Yeah.
Because we want it fast.
Yeah.
We want it. And comparison was a huge problem for me. We're part of a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And I was caught up in the comparison between myself and other guys in that group. And I finally had to pull back somewhat because I was too hung up on, oh my gosh, how do they do that? I want to be like that. I can do that when I'm not like that.
Yeah.
What do they do to do that?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's easy to do. It's easy to get caught up in. Even for myself, I was in great shape. And still, you're right. I would look at other guys and be like, oh my God, I would love to have those shoulders, or, your arm envy. And so it's really easy to do. You're not wrong there.
Right. Good advice.
Yeah, thank you. You too. So, Brian, moving on to our nutrition pillar of this episode.
Okay, so why don't you start and take the lead on this one?
Okay, all right. So mine is a story for nutrition. While the doctors were trying to figure me out and figure out what the problem was, they were doing a whole bunch of tests, cardio tests, like when they, the ECGs and all that kind of stuff, stress tests, and they had me wear a pacemaker and all that kind of stuff. So while they were trying to figure out all that stuff, they also were doing a lot of blood work.
Right.
And it turns out that my blood sugar levels, my glucose levels were at 6.6, which is high.
Ooh, yeah.
And those were fasted levels.
Oh, okay.
So somebody that works out as often as I do, eats how I eat, should not have a sugar glucose level that's that high. So it raised some red flags. And so it put me into the pre-diabetic category.
Really?
And that's where my insecurity for nutrition comes in.
Okay.
Because I was like, how is this even possible? How is this even possible that somebody like myself could even be in the same category as somebody who doesn't work out or somebody who doesn't eat like myself? And so again, with the vein, I couldn't help but be judgmental. I couldn't help but to think poorly of somebody else's effort when I've done all the right things.
Right.
According, quote unquote, for myself, I've done all the right things to be healthy. I've done all. So I couldn't wrap my head around how is that even possible that I'm in this category. So I went to the diabetes clinic, all of that kind of good stuff, and all of the slides that she was showing in the clinic looked like my meal plans. All of her meal plans looked like my meal plans. And all of the, the suggestions of just change a few things and you can change your life. And here's some exercises and here's some exercise plans and blah, blah. I was already doing all that. Yeah,
you wrote the book on it.
I was already doing all that stuff. So it was really hard for me to wrap my head around, how is this even possible? How can this be happening? Without sounding judgmental, without viewing it through those lenses. And I just couldn't help it. I was being judgmental. I was like, no, this can't be right. This cannot be right.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're still working on it. They're still trying to figure it out. I'm still meeting with the diabetes people from the diabetes clinic. And chances are I just might be predisposed. Or I just could be insulin resistant. So my body's making it and just doesn't know what to do with it.
Right.
I'm not sure. We haven't narrowed that in yet. But the only thing I can say is that all of the quote unquote right things that I've been doing have been helping.
Right. So imagine if you were not doing the right things.
Yeah.
Where you'd be today.
Yeah. And so, and it's hard not to feel insecure about doing all the right things and yet still coming up short.
Right.
Sometimes it's just genetics.
Yeah.
And that's what it was for me. So am I a little insecure about that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. Now, I think a lot of guys have insecurities around what they eat when they want to lose some weight. And I know in the clean eating book, it talks about that, and for a year you have 2,190 meals each year. Now that's breakfast, a little snack, a lunch, a snack, and then dinner. Now, I used to have one meal a day,
right?
But that would start at 7 in the morning and finish at 7 at night, and I would just graze the entire day for that meal. And I would go through the fridge and the cupboard and the freezer for the entire day. And you know what? Frozen Girl Guide cookies are so good.
Oh, buddy, did you just start a trend?
Oh my God.
Did you start something?
You know what?
God.
I would just
amazing.
eat. And so when I was employed, we ran a 10-week course at work called Leaders Living Well.
Okay.
And a leader doesn't, if they don't look after themselves, then they're not any good to their team or their family. Mm-hmm. Now, we brought an instructor in, Ron, and we had a book that we used. It was Tosca Reno's book and Robert Kennedy's book on clean eating diet recharged and the clean eating diet for men. But it wasn't a diet. Mm-hmm. It was a way of being.
Yeah.
And then I realized I need protein. And because the body uses protein to create muscles and bones, blood, and produces the enzymes that drive the body function. Mm-hmm. And it also maintains, your blood sugar levels and encourages cell growth and repairs and creates hormones and it helps metabolism. It balances body fluid and just strengthens the immunity system that's there. Now I know that animal protein contains 22 amino acids,
right,
or 20, and based on the source that you're reading. And our plant protein contains 15 amino acids, and that's why our vegetarian buddies follow a plant-based diet, so they can get their protein from different sources, like legumes and grains, nuts, seeds, vegetables.
Chickpeas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's that. To cover all those amino acid needs. Mm-hmm. And I know that from my grade 13 biology, I know I'm dating myself with grade 13, but amino acids are building blocks of protein, and they're essential for every function in your body. Mm-hmm. And they're involved in muscle repair and growth and hormone production, immune system function, and they transport these nutrients through the body. But protein are essential to feed those muscles.
That's correct.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it's not only protein.
No. It's not only protein, it's carbohydrates as well.
And when it comes to carbohydrates, some guys think, well, if I don't eat carbohydrates, then I'll lose weight. But I don't know about you, but I cannot function without some carbohydrates. I get weak, I get exhausted, but I have to make sure I'm choosing the right ones.
Correct.
That make a difference.
And when you mean by right ones, you mean the type of carb source.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I choose fruit or whole grains or veggies that are processed in the digestive tract, I knew glucose is released into the bloodstream.
Correct.
And that's the primary source of the energy.
Of energy. That's where it comes
that we
from.
have.
Yeah.
Now, the whole carbs are different from refined carbs. Now, I know the refined carbs are tastier.
They sure are. Like your brownie cookies.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to have to call my mom. Yeah.
You need to make sure that you're eating the whole carbs that are there, because I know that the whole carbs, if I eat the refined carbs, they're quick digestion, my sugar spikes, and because of the refined carbs are stripped from the fiber, and they're just digested more quickly, and that's why I get the spike in the blood sugar.
Yeah, your body breaks them down faster.
Yeah,
a lot faster. Yeah.
And then weight gain happens. The fast digestion of the blood sugar spikes can trigger insulin release, and that just promotes the fat storage. No. What about hydration? How much water do you drink?
I try to drink. I have a water bottle it's a 24-ounce water bottle, and I try to drink that 3 times throughout the day. Yeah, I'll have it at work, I'll have it at home after work, and then I'll have it at night when I'm hitting the gym.
Right.
And three of those.
And you're peeing like a racehorse
all the time. All the time.
Well, I've certainly learned too that if my piss is dark, then I'm already dehydrated.
Right, that's correct.
And so I need that. Now we've got the carbs, we've got the protein, we've got the water. What about healthy fats?
Healthy fat. Okay, so I'm a big believer in healthy fats.
Okay,
like avocados.
Right.
You're always going to see me with an avocado.
Yeah,
I love them. And which is amazing because I never touched them as a kid. It's so crazy. I never touched them as a kid, but avocados are such a good fat to have.
Yeah, the olive oil, nuts, seeds.
Yeah.
Now those are the monosaturated fats, the polyunsaturated fats. The fatty fish, the flex seeds, the chia seeds, the walnuts, the sunflower oil. Then there's the saturated fats. The coconut oil, the beef, and the butter.
Yeah.
But we're trying to stay away from the trans fats.
Correct.
completely, because we know that that's the processed in packaged food, and that's hard because they're tasty.
Oh yeah, are they ever? Yeah, are they?
So
ever?
so if you're insecure about the food choices to eat proper nutrition, just focus on getting your protein, your complex carbs, staying hydrated, and healthy fats. Then you've got your weight management, and things will go in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of apps out there that can help you with that too. There's a lot of great apps.
Fabulous. Why don't we put some in our show notes?
We should do that.
So Jay, do you have a quote that speaks to you about this insecurity in nutrition?
I do, but it's rather humorous.
Okay.
Or at least I think it is.
Okay, lay it on me.
If you drink a gallon of water per day, you won't have time for other people's drama. You'll be too busy peeing. So stay hydrated, my friend.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, you won't have time for everybody else. You won't have time for the drama. You won't have time for insecurities.
Yeah.
What about you? I know that there's you are what you eat as well. You know?
Although, say that again. You are what.
So you are what you eat. That's a famous one all over the internet.
Well, that would mean when I was younger, then I was fast, cheap, and easy. If that's the case, I am what I eat.
Oh my God,
that's changed. Believe me.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
But you know what? Abs are made in the kitchen.
They certainly are.
Right?
Yeah.
And I know people disagree with that but I get it.
Mm-hmm. But if you break it down, it's you can. Okay, let's be honest. I'm going to be blunt here. If you eat like shit,
yes,
you can work out as hard as you like, and you're not going to get the optimal results.
I know. Yeah.
Let's just be honest, right?
Yeah.
So yes, you can disagree with that statement that they're made in the kitchen, but eat like shit and go see.
Yeah.
So it's like 80-20. If you got a great diet, then all of your effort in the gym is going to be a success. Or all of your efforts walking or hiking or biking or canoeing, all of those efforts are going to be optimal if you're at least trying in the kitchen. Yeah.
There's a book called The Fuck It Diet by Carolyn Donor, and just encourages about setting boundaries around diet culture and rejecting people-pleasing behavior related to food. And that's that insecurity of not knowing what you want.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I'll tie it back into what I said earlier about, sometimes you can do all the right things and still come up short. And sometimes it's just genetics. And when I started on this whole trying to figure out stuff, like I don't want to talk about diabetes because I don't know enough about it yet.
Yes.
So I don't want to give advice on diabetes and all that kind of stuff because it's brand new for me. Yeah, it's brand new for me.
We're not going to touch that area.
No, I'm not. And so this is brand new for me. So when I first started out this and trying to figure out the blood levels and all that kind of stuff, and if I am pre-diabetic,
right? They
asked me at the clinic, so is there any diabetes in your family? And I said no. I said
there isn't.
No, there is.
There is.
But I said no.
Why'd you say no?
They're like, is there any diabetes in your family? I said no. And they were like, okay. And then my wife was like, yeah, Jay, there is. On your mom's side, your whole, like my mom's pre-diabetic, my mom's brother, her sister, her mother, her grandma, they're all diabetic on that side of the family. And I said no. And I was like, but we're not even that close to those guys. Like we're not. And now, if that's the case, if your relationship and how close you are ties into your diabetes, make some friends, I guess. I don't know, but like I said no because I didn't know.
Yes.
And oh my God, and my
wife.
wife.
There's diabetes in our family, so I'm monitored regularly.
Are you? Yeah.
So I'll have my blood test done next time I go to the doctors.
Yeah.
Because they're watching it carefully.
Yeah, So again, I'm brand new to this, and I'm actually learning that it is in my family without even knowing it.
Okay. And what about some advice?
Don't be afraid to actually ask your doctor to test your blood levels.
Okay.
And if you feel like there's something wrong in your body, there probably is. Your body will tell you.
Right.
But if you're and all of the research that I'm doing, if you're rolling along and you're sick all the time, and you can't figure out why, ask for some blood work. Ask for some, like your doctor is only going to give you solutions to your problems.
Right.
So if you're bringing problems to that doctor,
Right.
like I'm always sick.
Yes.
How come?
Yeah.
Then, maybe check into your immunity system,
You're
like all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to ask for some blood work.
Yeah. And for me, I would tell or suggest to people that they really need to be aware of diets that are out there.
Mhm.
And I won't name diets and diss diets because a lot of them, well, they lose weight.
Right.
And that's what people's goal is, to lose weight. But is it sustainable?
Right.
There are so many people who, yes, you lose weight, but as soon as you go off that diet, the weight comes back.
It finds you again, yeah.
And so the diet needs to be a way of being, a way of living.
A long-term goal.
It needs to be a long-term goal.
And people will say that to me, like, what's your diet? And I say, I'm not on a diet. I eat everything. And I really do, Brian. I eat everything, from cakes to cookies to broccoli to fish. Like, I eat and I really do eat everything.
And I've seen your picnic coolers.
Yeah, I eat everything. So it's not just a matter of I eat clean, but I eat everything as well. The ice cream, the cakes, and all that kind of stuff. But also too, like, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I'm very conscious. When I do eat it, I know that it's going to affect me in X, Y, and Z column. So I need to prepare for X, Y, and Z column.
Yeah.
So again, it goes back to learning your body, listening to your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. And finding out what works for you.
Right.
Sometimes people can't fast.
Yes. Yeah. I know.
I know. I've had a lot of questions since our episode on fasting, and I mentioned it. Some people can't fast. It's just not made for them.
Yeah.
And some people just don't know what to do. So find yourself some good books, find yourself some good apps,
right,
and ask a lot of questions.
Right.
Yeah, that's my advice.
Good. This next pillar is mental health. Now, there's a lot of hiding behind the mask when it comes to this, because I know a little bit about your story and you know a little bit about mine. Let's share it.
All right, I'll start this off. I don't mind at all. So as a kid, I grew up pretty insecure. And although I was very popular, I was a pretty shy kid. I was always the smallest in my class and anywhere else for that matter.
Right.
No matter where I went, I was always the smallest kid. And I didn't do very well in school.
Okay, yeah.
So,
take a breath.
Yeah, so I didn't do very well in school. I couldn't stay focused in class. I had a hard time concentrating. I was always more interested in what the other kids were doing. What are you working on? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I was more interested in, I'd sharpen my pencil 50 times a day.
Right.
It must have drove my teacher bonkers. I'm sure it did. And my report cards always said, Jay's a pleasure to teach. However, there was always the however. He can't stay focused. He has, problem staying still. He can't sit still. He has a problem staying focused. He doesn't do his homework. Brian, I've done more homework for this show than I ever did in my school career.
There's a purpose.
Oh my God.
We have a deadline.
Oh my God. I never thought I'd do homework again in my life. Yeah, we have a So, I never did my homework. So I wasn't academically strong enough to stay with my peers in class all day long. So I ended up outside in a portable with, 6 or 7 other kids.
Right.
How come? Well, I wasn't academically strong enough to stay with my peers. So already I knew I was different. Already I knew there was a problem. I didn't know what the problem was.
Right.
So I would spend half the day out in a portable. On top of that, I was, and I am, dyslexic.
Okay.
So I would, leave words out that were keywords, add words in that weren't there. So it made for difficult reading, and I'd have to read things multiple times to make it make sense. And I hated reading out loud. Oh God.
Yeah.
Please don't pick me to come to the front of the class and read out loud. Oh my God. There was so much anxiety that came from that. And, there's so much anxiety and insecurity that came out of that just from being young and being this way. I didn't pick it.
Right.
I didn't do anything to cause it.
Right.
It was just who I was. And it was very evident to me that I was different.
Right.
Which caused a lot of insecurities really young. Like, how come I can't stay in here with these guys all day? How come I have to go out to the portable? And we were all different grades from 4 to 8 out in the portable. So I'm a grade 4 reading at a grade 2. I'm a grade 6 reading at a grade 4. So I understand why I couldn't stay, because I couldn't keep up.
Right.
I get it.
We've had similar experiences in school. I was a weak reader, a poor speller.
Really?
Writer. Oh my gosh. I struggled. I remember being in the Crow reading group.
Okay.
And I just wanted so bad to be in the Bluebird reading group. But those were the fast readers.
Okay, yep.
And
I don't know what that is either.
I was in the Crow group. And it was tough. But I found my niche in speaking, because public speaking, no one could check my spelling. No one could check my reading level. No one could check my writing level.
Right.
Because I was evaluated on speaking.
Orally, yeah.
So I found public speaking was my niche. And I still remember my grade 5 speech was on milk.
Okay.
And that was the time in the milk commercials that Wear a Mustache was coming out. And I still remember the first part, and it was so powerful because no one could mark my spelling, no one could see me reading, no one could see me writing. It was just speaking. And I remember how it started, the speech, and that was decades ago. But it was.
Do you still know it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Just give me a second.
Okay.
Milk. M is for mustache, that new campaign thought, that new advertisement that consumers have bought. I is for ideas that the advertisers have now about our fresh milk from our dairy cow. L is for lait, that's milk in French, that real good flavor that makes our teeth clench. K is for cow. It's not spelt that way, but it's the last letter in milk. And to me, man, that's okay.
That's amazing. All these years later, you still have that?
So it's that emotional,
that's amazing.
Emotional memory, how powerful it was that I could do this in front of people. And I went on speaking competitions with the Lions Club and with the community. And it was, but no one got to see that I was hiding behind the mask when it came to reading and writing and spelling.
And that's where you found your piece.
Oh my gosh.
Was up on the stage?
I did that. But I kept comparing myself to other people.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that was tough. And I still struggled with it. And when we get into our segment about lifelong learning, I'm going to tell another story about this, how this insecurity hiding behind the mask crept into my ability of holding me back.
Wow. Yeah. I know you as a public speaker, and I never would have guessed that. I never would have guessed that you had that insecurity, because you were an amazing public speaker. I work with someone that I was fascinated by. He was probably the most emotionally sound person I've ever met, besides yourself, of course. He was just, so secure in his headspace, and it baffled me. Right. I really just couldn't understand it. And in a room full of people, he hardly said a word. He just didn't feel like he needed to add to the conversation. When he did, it was meaningful.
Right.
And it just really baffled me that how someone could be so at peace in their own headspace and feel like they didn't need to say anything in a conversation.
Wow.
It was just mind-boggling. And I've never had a conversation with this person that I used to work with about it, but I'm just fascinated by him. I respect him a whole lot. And he was just that quiet observer. Like everybody says there's always a quiet observer. And like he was that guy. He was just that quiet observer. And I would love to be able to train myself to do that. Wow. I would love to be at peace in my own headspace like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think you're closer to that now.
Oh, I sure am. Sure am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, give yourself grace and credit for everything you've accomplished.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, did you have a quote or something that speaks to this that our listeners could sink their teeth into?
Yeah, I do. For me personally, mine is when you know who you are, you stop letting people tell you who you are. Insults, projections, and false narratives no longer trigger your insecurities.
Wow.
That's me written all over it.
Yeah.
That is me. Narratives and false projections. Oh, God. That's me.
Yeah. And that aligns right with what the research is saying about insecurities, how we're impacting mental health. That insecurities just feed that mental health issues like depression and low self-esteem and anxiety. And they contribute to overeating and substance abuse and all kinds of disorders that people may have if they're insecure
and they're trying to cope.
Oh yeah. Because they're hiding behind this mask.
Yeah, totally. And until you change your thinking, you will always recycle experiences.
Say it again.
Until you change your thinking, you will always recycle your experiences.
Yeah. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got.
And I had to learn that the hard way. I really did. And one of the books that helped me out a lot it's called The Mountain Is You.
Oh, okay. I don't know that
Mastering Self-Sabotage.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
which is perfect for me because I was the master of self-sabotage. And it's by Brianna West.
Okay.
Or Weist. I'm not really sure how you say her last name.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Okay,
That's the reference.
And Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Oh, powerful.
I mean, everybody knows that one. There's a lot of things that I needed to address.
Yes.
And, those were books that really helped me do that.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Good. Well, I just found there's so much out there,
mm-hmm.
and it's picking and choosing what's going to work for you. But I think some helpful hints that I really had to embrace was I had to prioritize self-compassion. I had to speak to myself like I would speak to a friend who was going through something
mm-hmm.
that I was going through,
mm-hmm.
being really insecure.
Yeah.
And so that would be
with love and compassion.
Yeah.
It's important to be able to say to yourself, "It's okay, buddy.
Yeah,
we're gonna get this figured out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
It's okay, buddy.
Just do it by yourself."
I wish I could be able to tell myself that long ago.
Yeah.
It's okay, buddy. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian. Our next segment takes us to relationships.
Ooh, okay.
You want to start this one?
Yeah, I'll start it.
Okay.
It's about not feeling good enough. So hiding behind the mask, and this insecurity. I'm going to go back to elementary years. Okay. In grades 4 to 8, I went to a different school than earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I was overweight.
Okay.
I had ginger red hair. I fire engine red hair, and it didn't turn brown until I reached a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this gap between my teeth, freckles.
Mm-hmm.
I was teased.
Mm-hmm.
I was bullied.
Mm-hmm.
I was called a fag. I was called a loser, and it hurt. I wanted so much to be part of the cool kid group. But who defines the cool kids? Like who defines what is cool? Like who defines what jeans to wear, what shoes to wear, what shirt logo to wear, what cap to wear? But I wanted to be like that cool with the cool group, and I wasn't at all.
Right.
At all. And so growing up during those years of being, bullied, so I learned to hide behind the mask. And it hit home. I was in elementary school and I made the volleyball team.
Okay.
I was hot shit. I made the volleyball team.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my gosh, I am making it. I'm being part of the cool kids group.
I'm in.
I'm in.
Yeah.
And so, maybe it was my serve, maybe it was my spike, maybe it was my setup, but I made the team.
Right.
And I was pretty proud of myself.
Yeah.
Just getting this in control of the self-esteem until the guy that was on the team pulled the rug out from under me. And I respected him. He was bigger than the rest of us, muscular. He had already, started to reach puberty. He had a little bit of hair growing underneath his nose. He was a good athlete. And we all looked up to him. And he took me aside and he says, "Well, Jones, you know why you made the team." And I said, "Well, yeah, I got a pretty good spike." And he said, "No." I set up for other players to, no. Well, my serve, you should see my serve just barely clears. No. I said, well, why do you think I made the team then? If it wasn't any of those things? And he says, "Well, it's because your parents have a van and can drive us to games." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah. Your van holds 7 players."
Oh my God.
And our parents work. And I said, "Well, my dad's a dairy farmer and he works hard. And yeah, my mom can volunteer at the school and she's available to drive." "Well, yeah, you got the van, so you can take us to games." I said, "So that's why I made the team?" He said, "Yeah."
Oh my God.
And now the coach did not say that. The coach was excellent. The teachers there were excellent to help me through what I was going through. But this guy.
But this kid crushed you.
Oh my gosh, what a loser.
Oh my God.
And I remember holding it together. I remember, getting home on the bus, walking off the bus, and then the floodgates opened. I just bawled.
Of course.
And I remember telling my mom, okay, I'm going to quit the volleyball team. She says, no, you won't. You made the team. Jones doesn't quit. And I said, well, yeah, but I'm not very good. And he says, you made the team. So I hung it out, stuck it out. And yeah, my parents drove.
Yeah.
But I didn't try out for the basketball team. I didn't try out for the baseball team. Didn't try out for hockey teams.
Yeah.
I didn't try out for any sport teams related at school.
Because he crushed your spirit.
Yeah. And I didn't realize how much it affected me. And even to this date, I will thrive on individual sports.
Yeah.
You know, swimming, biking, running,
Yeah.
hiking, all of those things that are with me.
Yeah.
But when it comes to team sports, I still get this elementary feeling that triggers inside me.
Yeah.
And it's that feeling of not feeling good enough.
Brian, strength without kindness is the stuff that bullies are made of.
Well, I would love to look this guy up on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or wherever he may be on social platforms just to see what he's doing. Because I don't think he even knows the damage he did by that, 1 minute conversation he had.
The impact that he had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
What a loser.
Yeah, wow. That's really hard. I'm really sorry to hear that. Wow.
So what about you?
Mine goes back to elementary as well. So while all my friends and my peers were going off to high school together.
Right.
Together.
Okay.
I didn't have the grades to go with them. So I had to go to a different school. So not only was I not academically strong enough to stay with them throughout a whole school day, I wasn't academically strong enough to go with them to high school. So I had to go off on my own to a different high school without them. You want to talk about insecurities?
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So they just stemmed from being young and being separated from them. And now I'm being separated from them while going off to a different high school. Right. They went off together. And not because I chose to go to a different school. I had to go to a different school. It's where I met my best friend. And we met in grade 9.
Right.
And right away we were inseparable. Instantly inseparable. Yeah. And you call what you want. You tag the term whatever you want. Frick and frack. Bati and bench. You call it what you want. But we were instantly inseparable. And where he was, I was. And where I was, he was. And we just clicked. And he was, to me, he was my confident friend.
Right.
He was my friend that had it all together. Yeah. I was just in awe of him. And he was my take no bullshit friend.
Right.
Fast forward years later, we had a conversation and I told him how I saw him in high school and all that kind of stuff. And we had a good laugh and he didn't see himself the way I saw him. And he said, buddy, I had my own insecurities. And
really?
I was not the confident friend that you saw me as. And I have my own things going on. And maybe I didn't take any bullshit from anybody, but I was definitely not the way you saw me. And so years later, we had a good laugh about that. And fast forward years later into adulthood, he is one of the people that are in my inner circle who saw my insecurities getting the better of me in my adult years. Yes.
He saw that.
He did. And he's one of my, I said it in another episode, he's one of my are you good people.
Okay.
He's one of my people. I have a couple of guys like that check on me regularly and that we talk all the time. And they're my are you good people. And we have a lot of stuff in common, fitness and family. And we talk, and I love those guys dearly. I really do. I love those guys dearly. But they're my are you good?
Yeah.
You good, bro?
Yeah.
They're those guys for me.
And true friendship is not about being inseparable. It's about being separated, but nothing changes.
That's 100% accurate.
Yeah.
That's how we are.
Yeah. You just pick up where you left off.
No matter how much time goes by. It's like we just talked yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. No matter what.
Yeah.
And I have a couple of quotes that I brought to the table. One of them is being in a relationship or being in relationships without addressing insecurities will only create problems. So put them in check.
Oh yeah, and that's exactly, Back to December by, Taylor Swift's song reflects on the regret and vulnerability in relationships, just showcasing the complexities of the emotional connections that people have.
Yeah. Another one is, I know how to get along with everyone, but that doesn't mean I like everyone.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? Yeah, that's me as well. And that goes along with, hiding behind that mask. Yeah, I know how to get along with everybody.
Melissa Fortson's work of emotional support, self-esteem, and adult attachment, it says that predictors for relational well-being in relationship will come from self-esteem and this whole adult attachment styles that people have. And finding a secure attachment style are associated with higher relational well-beings, while insecure avoidant attachment styles are linked with lower relational satisfaction or increased conflicts
that makes
people
sense.
have. And any advice?
That makes sense. Yeah, my advice would be, if your insecurities have poor behaviors attached to them, you need to figure out the root cause and put them in check, or address them, so you can move past them. And it goes back to, otherwise you will just recycle those experiences if you don't put them in check. And like your research says, find out the root cause. Do your research, dig a little deeper, and being in relationships without addressing those insecurities will only relate to problems.
I honestly believe that if we work on building self-esteem and individual self-worth outside of relationships, the more secure we'll feel in ourselves and less likely that we'll depend on others to define our own value.
Yeah, creating a narrative for you. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Our final pillar, lifelong learning. So, Jay, how does this relate to insecurities and hiding behind the mask when it comes to being a lifelong learner?
Well, my story starts like this. My wife says I could fall asleep in roughly 12 seconds.
12 seconds?
Roughly. She said I could fall asleep roughly. My head hits the pillow and I'm gone.
Okay.
I think largely because I'm firing on all cylinders all day long.
Right.
And when it's time for bed, when I mentally and physically, I'm firing on all cylinders all day long. Right. And when it's time for bed, I'm spent.
Yep.
And so my head hits the pillow and I'm done for the day.
Yep.
And I used to feel like there was something wrong with that. I used to feel like, did I not care about enough things? Did I not have enough responsibility in my life? Why am I not awake staring at the ceiling? My head hits the pillow and I'm gone. Yeah. And so it's like, why how is that a bad thing for me? Like, is there something wrong with me that I can just I can hit the pillow and I'm done? And like, do I not care about anything? So I used to be pretty insecure about stuff like that. And, and I shouldn't be. I should be able to hit the bed. It's bedtime. I should be able to hit the pillow and I'm done. I'm getting better at that. I'm really getting better at that, to not feel like there's something wrong with hitting the pillow and I'm done. And honestly, man, I feel like I burned somebody's daily calorie count, the recommended calorie count for some people. I feel like I burned that just with the amount of stuff going on in my head. I feel like I could burn your calorie count, from the thoughts to the tasks to the conversations to all of those things that go on in my head, to staying focused, to all of those things that burn up energy, burn up calories. I feel like I do that. And, it's a lot less, I'm a lot less insecure about that now.
Good.
Yeah. And yeah, I've spent the last couple of years learning about me and working on me. And it's really helped with my relationships with my wife and my kids and my friends.
Yeah.
But most of all, myself.
Yeah. You got to start with yourself.
Myself. Yeah. And that's key.
Yeah. And that's believing in yourself.
Yeah. And my family gave me the space to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm forever grateful for that.
Right.
They gave me the love and the compassion and the space to work on myself and figure it out for myself. And it's changed my life completely.
Yeah. And it's amazing. Once you start believing in yourself, the doors open. Yeah. Opportunities come your way. And then that fits into something that I was scared to death to do.
Tell me
about it. I had an imposter syndrome, actually.
No kidding.
Where I just pretended, masked behind this insecurity. I did not feel I had the knowledge, the intellectual ability to even take my master's. And I put it off. And finally, a close friend, a close buddy who's been my, mentor for years, he said to me, "Oh, Brian, you're going to take your master's." And I said, "Oh, come on. I'll be 50. I'm too old. I don't want to." And inside I'm thinking, "Hey, I can't do it. There's no way I can do the research. There's no way I can write research. There's no way I could pull this off." And he says, "Jones, you can do it. You're doing it here at work. Your assignments, you're doing the work. Why don't you just add research to what you're doing, and you've got a course?" So I said, I don't know. He says, "You know what? The deadline is next week. I already have your reference letter. It's right here, and you just need to sign up."
Wow. He
And
gave you
I
that
said,
push.
whoa. So I took the dive. Now I was in my 50s, and going to the class, and it was at the university, Ontario Tech University. And thank goodness for the instructors, the profs that were there, Dr. Petraka and Dr. K, who kind of took me under their wings and challenged and encouraged and acknowledged what I was doing. And I did it. But I didn't believe I could at all, because I had convinced myself I was not smart enough to do this. I could not do the work for that. And so it's amazing when you start believing in yourself, incredible things start to happen. And you got to figure out what you need to do so that you can be successful.
Wow.
On a completely different note.
Okay.
I got to tell you this,
okay.
And my daughters are going to cringe when they hear this story, but I'm not a poker player at all. Now I know that you've been to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I have a few
but
times.
And on our street, and this was a while ago, there were dads on the street that would get together on Wednesday nights for poker night. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't go. I don't know the difference between a spade and a club. I can't go.
Oh my God, are you serious?
And so my daughters would they would say, "No, Dad, here's the cards. We'll practice with you."
Yeah.
A club is like a clover. A spade is like a shovel.
Oh my God.
You can do this.
That basic?
I didn't know. We never grew up with cards.
Yeah.
And but I really wanted to go with these other dads.
Yeah.
And we have nothing in our jobs are so different. The only thing we have in common is we all have daughters.
Right. Okay.
And the occasional sons that are for some of the guys, but mainly we all have daughters. So that's what our connection.
Yeah.
So there I go. I bought a book on how to play. And we'd all start at 7:00 and we'd finish at 9, regardless of where we were in the game.
Yeah.
Because we all had to work the next day and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it was just this feeling of inadequacy, just comparing my knowledge level to the peers that are around the table.
Right.
And so I thought, I'll just lay out my cards. Guys, this is the first time I'm playing. I have no idea. My daughters just taught me the difference between a spade and a club. And they howled. And I said, so help me out. I'm going to play with my cards face down, and you tell me which ones I need to do because I need to do this.
Oh, my God.
And so they had, their fun with me. And finally I got a little bit more confident and playing how to do this. But if you start to just being yourself and open up to your vulnerability and say, you know what, I don't know how to do this. Here. Yeah. I'm a clueless.
Yeah.
Help me out here.
Oh my God.
And I needed a trusting environment.
Yeah.
Because I know from the research that it only takes place if you're in a trusting environment. And when people feel respected, heard, valued, and appreciated, then they'll feel safe.
Correct. And that goes right back to what I said about my family allowed me that space to work on my, no, you're 100%. Yeah. You tied that in beautifully. And one of the quotes that I have here, emotional maturity is letting people be wrong about you. It's understanding that their narratives have nothing to do with who you are.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And to tie it all back into working on myself, this one hits hard for me. Heal yourself. I'm going to say it again.
Yeah.
Heal yourself, because we have children that don't deserve the broken versions of us.
Oh my gosh.
That was a gut punch for me.
It's never too late to be what you might have been.
No. Never.
Yeah. And it reminds me of Miley Cyrus's song, The Climb. There's always going to be another mountain, and I'm going to want to make it move. Yeah. It's the climb.
Yeah.
It's the climb.
Honest to God. Great
There's another
song.
one up there. As soon as you get to the top of that mountain,
there's another
one.
Yeah, there's another peak.
For sure.
One of the books that helped me out greatly was The Man the Moment Demands by Jason Wilson. It's Mastering the 10 Characteristics of the Comprehensive Man.
Oh, wow.
Breaking the stereotypes of the alpha male. Yeah. Put your ego down. Yeah. Set your ego aside,
Leave it at the door.
My friend. Yeah.
Leave it at the door.
Leave it at the door.
Yeah. And as I'll just emphasize, without that supportive learning environment of those people who surrounded themselves to encourage me to go on in education, and those guys around the table who encouraged me to teach me something I didn't know what, it was way out of my experience. Without that safe environment, it was not going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about how many people have fallen through the cracks and have denied opportunities and won't take advantage of risks because they're not supported.
Yeah, absolutely. And my advice would be, if you can't control it and you can't change it, shelf it until you can. Put those things in check. Yeah. Address those issues. Yeah. Dig deep, and when you can shelf it, or when you can change things and you can address things, do it then. Yeah. But don't try to do it without the right research and the right knowledge. Yeah. Shelf it until you can.
Right.
Yeah, and be honest with that.
Right.
This is what I'm capable of, and I have to shelf this because I can't deal with it right now. Be honest with that.
I think as soon as I embrace the fear of failure and realize that it's part of growth, incredible things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I realize that, setbacks and mistakes and failures along the way are necessary for someone to grow further.
And that you can't have growth without that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without acknowledging your setbacks.
Wow. Powerful.
And that wraps up today's episode of Coffee and Conversations for Men. A big thank you to all our listeners for tuning in. We really appreciate you spending time with us.
Be sure to check out the show's notes for links, resources, and everything we've discussed today. Be on the lookout for new episodes where Jay and Brian continue to share their stories, dive deep into topics that matter most, and keep the conversation going.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you'll always be first to know when new episodes drop. If you've enjoyed today's conversation, share it with a friend or leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you. Now, if there's a topic you'd like us to explore, reach out and let us know.
This is Jay and Brian reminding you to grab your coffee
or your favorite beverage
and keep the conversation going. Until next time,
stay strong,
stay curious,
and stay connected.